You're going to tell us who you want to ask questions. I believe you must have had a pool of questions to pick from. So you have 4 contestants that are open for you to ask questions. So you're going to tell me which of them you want me to bring up, then you present your question. So who do you want?
Okay, first I'll begin with Juliana.
Okay, so I'm bringing Juliana.
Okay, Juliana, in your speech, you made mention of fighting against corruption with good leadership by being transparent and accountability towards.
Yes.
So my question is this now. I don't really think accountability and transparency is enough way to fight against corruption. What if then, after telling us everything you use Nigerians' money for, how it came and how it went, and yet there is still corruption in the nation? Let's take, for example, fraudulence, the Yahoo in the country. So what if after giving account of how the money came and how the money went and there's still fraud, how do you intend to fight them?
Thank you. I said transparency and accountability. Before accountability, I believe there should be transparency. Something that should be able to, let's say, transparent enough in order to give account of whatsoever they are doing. I believe if you are transparent enough, there should not be fraud. Okay, you have, for example, you have been given something to do, maybe by an organization or whatsoever, and you make account of whatever you have been given, the way the money is being spent and the way the money is being disbursed. So by that, I don't think there should be any form of fraud, because everybody already see the way you collected the money and the way the money is being spent. Such way, you're already transparent enough in order to account for whatsoever you have been given.
I don't think you got my question. You are telling us about you being the president, and you said you fight against corruption by being transparent, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you are the one being transparent, not we the citizens. On the other hand, so now, if, for example, I'm one of those Yahoo boys, I'm a fraudster, and then someone comes to me and tells me that so and so money has been transferred to you, and I know fully well that the money is transferred, and I use the money for something else because it's my mindset. I can choose to use the money the way I want and then tell you another thing. So I don't think transparency comes for corruption. I think it's from the mindset. If I use the money in a bad way and I decide to tell you in a good way, how would you know and how would you fight against corruption by that way?
And I believe in such way there should be technology to enhance that transparency.
Like what type of technologies do you need that can read through the mind? I don't know if I'm mistaken. Is there any technology that can read through my mind and tell you?
But it is what's in your mind that you will do. A government agency also, there should be able to be a way in order to monitor the affairs of the government operations.
Giovanni, thank you for that, but hope you're getting ready because she's going to ask you questions. So if you're blasting her like this, you should also be ready for it. So get ready because she's also going to give you two, okay? You have 2 more minutes to interact, and then Juliana, you're going to ask him your question.
I said, is there any ICT technology that can scale through my mind? Because corruption comes from the mindset. If I'm being corrupt, it's my mindset. So now, if I decide to come now and steal, or someone sent me money and I said I've not seen it, meanwhile I've seen it because of my corrupt mindset, I use it for something else, that's frauding. Is there any ICT technology that you can use to track my mind to end that corruption? That is what I'm asking.
And like I said, there is no technology I can use to track your mind. It is based on mindsets. It is what is in your mind that you are going to do. But what I'm only trying to explain is, in any government operation, there should be a technology or people that will be assigned to monitor the affairs in order to monitor the affairs of government operation, so that people will be able to give account of whatsoever they are being apportioned to do. But based on your mindset, it is what is in your mind that you are going to do.
Okay, that's awesome. I like that point. And I know from Giovanni's outlook, it seems he's not completely satisfied with your response. That is okay. That is fine. That is why it's a discussion. You can't get the answer properly. We just have to give it to you. Okay, so Juliana, it's your turn. Ask Giovanni. I believe you must have structured out some questions already. So ask him what you want to ask him.
Giovanni, in your point, you mentioned promoting skills acquisition.
Yes.
Under your policy, right?
Yes.
So I would like to ask, what are the skills do you think government can implement in order to make this nation a great one?
I would enhance skills acquisition for youth and women so that there will be employment, self-employment. I didn't actually say that it's going to make the nation Nigeria good enough, but at least going to bring employment and reduce the rate of poverty. So skills like crafting, it can
Okay.
also help in terms of technology. If you craft out things and then the government sees it, skills like sewing. There's a particular person that in Nigeria that sewed for most outside celebrities. That's enhancement. That's a skill actually. It can help promote Nigeria. So if we take it seriously, if I'm being given the governor, if I take it seriously, which I will do, it's going to bring about good development in Nigeria.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for the interaction. I'm going to get the two of you out, and then Shekina and Jackson and Rita, the three of you should get ready. Okay, so now I'm bringing Shekina. Shekina, you have the floor to ask Jackson question, and Jackson, by the time Shekina is done, you're going to ask her question. So Shekina, take the floor.
Okay, so basically or generally, I did not craft out questions for Jackson, but I was able to like point out some things. But since he's here and so I don't digress, Jackson, so you made mention of you improving the infrastructure, and I think that's basically what almost all of us said. They were going to improve the infrastructure, and I think that is a good thing. But how do you plan to build and improve infrastructure in Nigeria? Because I mean, if we have good infrastructures in Nigeria, we can be able to compete with developed communities. So what kind of infrastructure would you like to develop and build? And how do you plan to do all of these things? Thank you. Your essay, your presentation was actually very nice. I really loved it and I enjoyed it.
You see, as I was saying at the first, before you become a president, to me, I'm a person in life that love excellence. So before I take a position of a president in a country, I must first undergo series of study. I must plan that I want what to do immediately I set in. And that infrastructure, I'm seriously telling you, is, if you check that, is one of our down points. Now, how do I implement this infrastructure? First, as I was saying, I will set goals to implement this infrastructure. Clear goals. Infrastructure goals are short goals from 1 to 3 years. Now, infrastructure such as what? Electricity. I will try to what? Create a way. Somebody was saying solar system. As an electrical student, I have a plan that immediately I step out of the university, I will try to create massive, invest in that solar system. I'm thinking of developing a large solar system in Benue State here that can be able to power, like in our school. In our whole school, we use solar. It's only solar that we are operating on, and there is no point they will take light. Or even if they take it, it's because of maintenance, and it's not even up to 1 hour. So in that kind of a thing, developing, telling engineers, electrical engineers, okay, as a president, okay, let's see how we can diversify electricity in the whole country. How many watts do we need? How many tons of electricity and watts do we need to power this state, this particular state, this rural state, this particular environment? And then before you know, you begin to plan budget, because yes, as I was saying, most of these sectors, I have a budget actually for it. And in the infrastructure is about 25 to 30% budget, and it takes the highest 5 to 30% budget on my whole estimate for a particular 4 years term or 3 years term. So from my experience, I begin to see, okay, this governor, this is what you do. This is what you need to do. If it is infrastructure on the digital level, okay, yeah. Nigeria, if you see now, the digital space, all this crypto and a lot of things has taken over. And me personally, if I finish school here, honestly, I don't need to depend on anybody to give me a job. That is the mentality I have. Because if you just carry your laptop, go to Udemy, go to Coursera, you will discover that you take a lot of courses, and these courses is just your time. Yeah, the certificates are free. Take it, master it, apply for a job on LinkedIn, bring your LinkedIn profile, your Upwork profile, develop yourself, and before you know, it's just a little consistency and the right mentality. And that is one among the things I will do. Try to build the right mentality in individuals. That yes, we want excellence. One thing as Nigeria.
Sorry, I do not mean to interrupt, but just so we can be on the right track. So I'm basically asking of the things you're going to do as president. So I think applying to going to Udemy or having a LinkedIn account, I don't think that is one of the things that's going to make you establish your plan of building and improving the infrastructure in Nigeria. But I get your whole statement.
That one is just one to the things, like I know I step a bit, but it's just one among the things I wanted to say actually as a president, and it's a call for us to Nigerians. Like it's a call to the human is that point is actually on the Human Development Index. Sorry, I step out, but the
No problem.
infrastructure actually, I will make a plan. I will budget on it.
That is the exact question I asked you. What is your plan exactly? I know that you want to build all of this infrastructure and solar system. Like, how do you plan to build them? And how do you even plan to raise funds to build them? I mean, your statement is actually very good, but how do you plan to fund it? Because, I mean, we young Nigerians are filled with so many dreams, but the problem we have is like the right plan to fund them, the right plan to make it possible, and then the funding. So how do you plan to do this as president of Nigeria?
Now look at something. Did you know that it's the mentality that you carry that goes with you? If I have a plan to like to bring
Jackson,
infrastructure, to increase infrastructure up.
Jackson, before you answer that, you have 1 minute to do that, okay?
Okay, if I have a plan to increase infrastructure up to 70% in Nigeria, I have done my feasibility study. I have done my research on the number of states that are really lacking this infrastructure and the ones that really need help. Then my budget, I've already told you, from 25 to 30%. This is where I will now arise to the states that mostly need this infrastructure, and then try to what? Start from them. The mostly states, I will start from them, like transportation, electricity, digitalization, maybe involving more in ICT and the rest, and maybe housing and the rest. I will what? Try to what? See the states that are basically lacking them first. Try to what? Estimate my budget on them first before coming to states that are having minimal issues of this.
Okay.
So that is one among the ways.
Okay, Jackson. Okay, thank you so much, Jackson. The time is over. So now, Shekina, you ready for Jackson?
Yes, I am.
All right, so Jackson is your turn.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
My question for her, you said about developing a security drone, a drone that will be able to like monitor people, and then you have an app, isn't it?
Yes.
And so now in this kind of case, I don't know whether you actually did research on it, but the drone, what capacity or what kind of a range will the drone be able? How many drones do you want to start with? What is the capacity of the drone? What is the design? What's the features there? Another thing, you are creating an app. How about the rural places? Rural places that people have no access to this technology. How people that a 70-year-old woman that has been in a village ever since, and he wants to maybe in that kind of crisis call for help through your app.
Okay.
How will the person be able to this kind of app?
First of all, I also want to like ask you a question concerning this 70-year-old woman. So how would a 70-year-old woman be able to walk out on her own without aid? Did you hear me? How can a 70-year-old woman walk out on her own without aid? And okay, so let me just answer your question. Okay, concerning the drone and every single thing, I'm going to, as of now and with my little research, I do not know the amount of places in the whole Nigeria because I haven't explored or I haven't toured right around Nigeria. But one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that the drone is available in every area in Nigeria once I become president. So once I become president, I'm going to have informations of every state from their local government chairman, from their governors and every single thing so that we can implement these drones on them. And you are saying something about how do we track people through. So Nigeria is not like as if it's a local place. Everybody has a mobile phone. I'm sure that most, or let me say 8 out of 10 people in Nigeria have access to mobile phones. So if they have this app installed on their phone, I know that most people might not want to have this app installed on their phone because they'll be like, oh, they are safe and every single thing. But for people that have it on their phone, they'll be saved when they use the distress button. Their location will be sent immediately to the security agencies. So does that answer your question?
Will the app operate with a data system or a network system?
Exactly. Once you open Instagram, okay, let's use Facebook. Once you open Facebook, right, you already have your name, you have every single thing. And so I don't know if you have ever tried this stuff, but me, if I want to sign up for something, Instagram already has my data, my date of birth, my every single thing. So instead of me imputing all of those things, I can just send them to the website or to the stuff I'm applying for this app, once you've already inputted all your information, and once your location button is always on, we'll be able to track you whenever you're in distress.
So now, how about those that does not have data? And another thing is this: you say your drone is for security. Okay, if this drone, what's really the functionality? Does it mean that
Okay.
once the person alerts for security, like security emergency stuff, then the agency, maybe the police or the air force, will immediately come and rescue the person? Is that what you are trying to say?
Okay, drone is for monitor. Drone is used to monitor people and not for security. So there's no way the individuals can have access to the drones, because the drones will be planted on trees, planted on different places. So there's no way they can send help through the drone. So the drone is to monitor people. So we'll have security agencies monitoring. So I'm going to try my best as president to make sure that we employ or we encourage so many security agencies to monitor people and also know where these Boko Haram, where these kidnappers are. And we're going to focus on the isolated places, because I believe that isolated places where you can find these kidnappers and everything. So you also said that what if we do not have data? I'm sure that you have an app called Subway Surfers, right? So the Subway Surfers, you do not need data, right, to play the game. That means you're not going to need data to use this app. Do you get?
I get.
Jackson, you sounded like you got some point from what Shekina said, and since both of you really had some battle chemistry on there, just like we had Juliana and Giovanni. I just like this. It's going to be a tough one picking the first three. It's going to be tough. I know the panel is going to find it tough to pick the three, because the four of you are top up there with this debate. I can't get Rita, but all the same, so we're going to be just the four of you in this debate right now. So we're not going to involve Rita because she's not here. So we're going to get this compiled. I just hope Instagram, all this thing we're saying, all this, I hope Instagram is not going to unsave it for us, because it's going to be messed up. We really need to see this thing, and we want to play it again, because I like this battle of ideas. It's really creative and really awesome. So thank you guys very much for being here today. I appreciate you guys for taking your time to be here. First of all, I want to appreciate you guys for transiting from the essay level down to this video level. It's not an easy one, because we receive a lot of essays. And in the end, you guys got to this point. So I appreciate you guys. I want to thank Juliana. You guys are not here right now. I want to thank Giovanni. I want to thank Shekina. I want to thank Rita. Favor wasn't able to make it. And Jackson. That I can have time. We have to wrap it up, so I can have time to get prepared for today's winners for episode 13. So we can have time for that. And then I have Giovanni. What do you say, Giovanni? I have question for.
I think he said he had a
question.
question for me.
All right. Let me bring you up. That's
okay.
All right.
I also have a question for Giovanni too, because like it was
good.
one.
All right.
Yeah,
So
I have a question for Giovanni.
All right. So,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
let's start. Giovanni asking
Giovanni, yes.
Shekina. Go ahead.
Okay, Shekina, in your speech, you made mention of having a summit or annual summit with other top CEOs of other countries to help advance the growth of Nigeria.
Yeah.
Okay, my question is, how do you intend to make them concur to your appeal to help make sure Nigeria's development is going? Although these other top CEOs have their own countries which they have to invest in, as we all know. So how do you intend to make them concur to your idea?
Okay, thank you for the question. You know that ECOWAS summit was first, I don't know if you're familiar with the ECOWAS, was first held in Nigeria. And I feel that Nigeria is such a big place with so many talent, so many places where you can invest. That's why we had what's his name? Can you remind me of his name? This white man, this like the richest white man in America that came to Nigeria just of recent. Bill Gates, thank you. Bill Gates. So Bill Gates, knowing that Nigeria is such a beautiful place to invest in, he came to Nigeria to do his research and see, oh, I can invest in the education. Oh, I can invest in this place. So, so my summit is the Global Economic Partnership Summit. So when I give CEOs a place to invest, there's no way they are going to decline it. Just say you own a business or you own a brand. And I tell you, oh, I have this land, come and invest in it. is there a way you're going to like decline it? Are you going to decline the offer?
First of all, it depends. I might not
Okay.
decline it. I might decline it. But the
Okay.
thing is that
So, okay, sorry.
if I'm having a pay for it, I won't decline it because we're working on
You
money.
know that thing, when you're investing on something, you're not investing for free. You're going to get profits. So you are profiting as well as I am profiting. You get? So there's going to be
Yeah.
this mutual connection between us. So on in this summit, it's not by force for the ministers or like these big people to come.
Okay,
You
like
know,
an
it's not by
NGO.
force.
It's
Yeah,
like
it's
an
not like an
NGO.
NGO. It's just a program just like the ECOWAS. Yeah, it's a program just like the ECOWAS. So it's not by force for these people to come and invest. But I'm sure, and I know that a lot of people would want to invest in Nigeria. Just like China held a summit of recent where they invited Nigeria and other countries and then communicated with them saying that Nigerians will learn their language. I don't know if you have been like hearing the news quite of recent. Yeah. So that is the same thing that's going to happen. So once I give these people a place to invest in Nigeria, they are definitely going to, and I not let me not say definitely, but I'm sure that is a fair play for them to come and invest in Nigeria. So does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, so Giovanni, you said you made a lot of beautiful points. I must say, your points were actually very nice and like they were top notch.
Thank
You
you.
said something about fighting corruption, and you also
Yeah.
asked Juliana the same question. So I just want to ask, how do you plan to fight corruption? Because I mean, corruption is one major problem in Nigeria. So as president of Nigeria, I mean, if you can fight corruption, that's going to be a big play. That's going to be a good one for you. So how do you plan to fight corruption?
Okay, fighting corruption in Nigeria, yeah, it's going to be a little bit difficult task
True,
for every government.
true.
But in my tenure, if I'm being given the president of the nation, I think that's where the ICPC, the EFCC, the CCB, and other agencies will have to be effective. I mean, when I mean effective, I mean very, very effective. I would make sure I strengthen them, giving them all the facilities that they deserve to help monitor, to help take in, do their finders, because as the president, you don't have to be working from place to place, making sure that this is a thief, this is that, he's doing fraud, arrest him. It's not my point to do that. But I will make sure this agency are very, very effective to watch out for fraud. And then they
Okay,
will arrest them, put them under law. Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
Okay, so you're going to make sure that every politician, every governor, and or any political leader that is into corruption gets arrested, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, okay. That's all. I have another question, but I don't know if it's okay
Oh
if
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
ask.
If you
Okay,
have
it's
space, if you
okay.
have time, you
Giovanni,
can.
is that okay with you? Is
Yeah,
that
no
okay? I
problem.
have another
Yes,
question.
yes.
So you made so much like beautiful policies. So it's one thing to make beautiful policies, just like I said to Jackson. It's another thing to know how to fund them. So how do you plan to fund all of your policies? How
Okay,
do you
now,
plan to raise funds?
in every country, there's always a there's always a budget.
Okay,
Before,
Yes.
one second. Juliana, do you have? It seems from the comment section, it says Juliana has a question for Giovanni, just like Giovanni has for Chekina.
You will definitely have questions about all of these things. So
Yeah,
it's
okay,
okay
so
to ask.
yeah,
okay,
Juliana. Okay, if you want to come up, just click yes. Let me know if you want to come up and ask your question. But go ahead.
1 second, sorry. You said that before you become president, there's already a budget. We're not talking about before you become president. We're talking about when you become president. So let's leave the budget before you became president. So let's talk about when you become president. How do you plan to raise this fund?
the taxes budget for a
Okay.
company, the tax. Yes, the tax.
Okay. So from what kind of tax? Like what tax exactly?
Tax civil servants pay, the tax government workers pay.
Okay. Just
That's
the
it.
tax.
Yes,
Just
just the
the
tax.
tax. Okay
Yes.
then.
All right, Juliana said you've answered her question already, so she wouldn't have any
Okay.
reason to come up anymore. That's
Okay.
perfect. Okay, perfect. So this is awesome. I really enjoyed this, seeing the Gen Zs like us discussing things like this. This is
I
wonderful. You
guess.
know, yeah. So it's great. You know, so I really appreciate you guys. Now you guys are going to give the panel a tough run. Like getting the final three is going to be tough, I bet you. After watching this and after seeing your guys discussing, it's going to be tough, I bet you. So first of all, we have to hope that Instagram is not going to do us dirty
I
today.
pray so, sir. I
Yeah,
pray so.
because they have to get this thing saved. This is the first time. The first one we did, it wasn't saved. So I don't know what happened. The quiz competition wasn't saved. That's why you didn't see it. I don't know. So I'm
Okay.
really, really praying that this
Even
one
me.
is
I
going to
think
be
it's
so
saved
different.
because I saw the first one. I think it's saved because the first one is on your page. Like the first one you recorded is on your page.
Oh, it
So you can just
was
go
on
and
my
rewatch
page?
it. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, the first
Okay.
one of this one of today?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay,
The first one of
perfect. Okay.
today.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. All right, thank God.
Wow,
Oh,
wow,
wow,
wow, wow.
that's nice. So, so
That's good, that's
we're
good.
gonna download it properly and restructure it again and then post it out for you guys to see. I want to thank you
Okay.
guys, Juliana. Thank you. You're not on the background right now, and Jackson. Thank you so much. But before then, can we have a final word for every of us? Just final word before we say goodbye for today.
Uh,
Jackson, first of all, Jackson. Jackson,
Okay.
be
All
quiet.
right.
Just a final word for your fellow contestants and everybody and the viewers and everybody. Not necessarily about the debate, it's just general. All
I
right.
don't think.
I
I
don't
don't
think he
think.
can. I don't think his speaker is working. Okay, Shekina.
I just want to end everything with a quote that I wrote down here. Okay, so in as much as we are not leaders yet, or we are not presidents yet, this doesn't have to do with the debate. But in as much as we're not leaders yet, there is something that Cotera Scott King once said. One of the former kings of England. He said that the greatness of a nation is most accurately measured by the compassionate actions of its members. So whatever we do today is going to lead to the greatness of Nigeria. So let's not just depend on the president or the leaders of today, but let us start working towards improving our community and improving our society and improving our country at large. Thank you.
Nice. Thank you so much. Giovanni.
For me, I would say let's just put our goals into practice. That's all. Putting your goals
Perfect.
into practice for the country. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so very much. Jackson. Oh, Jackson,
I
you're
don't think
mute.
you can
You're
hear.
mute.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
can see your lips moving, but we can't hear what you're saying.
Mhm.
We
Is
can
that
see
the
your lips
network
moving.
issues?
Exactly.
I think so.
So I think your internet is good, but maybe you press mute somewhere or it's gone.
Uh,
Let's okay, no problem, Jackson. All right, so thank you so very much. Juliana, do you have something to say? Let me get Juliana to say a final word before we call it a day, and then we'll get our episode 13 winners for today. Juliana, let's see if she can have a final word for us today. Okay, maybe she's not in the right position to do that because maybe network or whatsoever. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. Those that were on the screen. Oh,
okay,
okay,
she's
Juliana is there.
better.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, Juliana. Let's have your final word before we call it a day. Are you sure Juliana
I,
knows that this was happening?
No, but Instagram can actually turn the whole thing around. Like I did not know that I was using the back
especially when
camera
you're
at
live.
first. Yes.
How would they turn it around?
Like
How do you
I think
mean?
everybody I said Instagram like basically do not notify us or they do not do this like testing stuff before you go online to see how the camera is facing, if it's at the back or at the front. So
Oh,
I think
okay, okay,
everybody
okay,
has
okay.
had their embarrassing
Oh my
moments
goodness, I'm
today.
telling you.
Yes.
But that's awesome. That's awesome. That's good. Sometimes these things makes it more fun, you know. It makes it more fun. I said, okay, we enjoy Instagram very well. The only part that is not be fun is when you've been seen in the wrong place. But other than that, any other part
Yeah.
is fun. You know what I mean by being in the wrong place.
Yeah,
All right,
I know,
so
I
Okay.
know.
Before we go,
all right, so thank you
Sam,
so much.
Sir,
Giovanni,
can you
say
hear me?
something?
Yes.
Hmm?
Before we go, my uncle has something that he says he wants to talk about. I don't know if he has the opportunity to say that.
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
bring him in.
Can come over.
Hello.
Hi.
Good day. Good day.
Good day, sir.
Yes,
Hello.
I'm Engineer Kingsley Gen 1.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, although I don't fully grasp what you're trying to do, but I'm really happy that it's really impactful on this young man's life.
Oh wow.
Yes, he's not really not related to me. He's my neighbor. They stay a compound away, but I took a liking to him because he looks like someone that's very, very,
Yeah.
very, very focused. He's ultra focused on goals. So I said, I like how you're positively impacting on his life, and it's a very good one. And it got me thinking, what is the entire what is your plan? What are you guys about? Let me see if I could join in and also help out with young people
Oh,
like this, if possible.
that's perfect. I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay, so this in general, it's an educational platform.
Okay.
So it is a platform where we open floor to assist our young guys educationally, kind of like and make them interact and give them the ability to learn. So we have a special one like this for generally those that are camera friendly.
Okay.
And for those that are not camera friendly, we open it up every week. We have a program where we call the game show. So it is kind of like a brainstorming question we bring every Saturday. Saturday, right? Yeah, Saturday. And then on Sunday, we bring the questions on Sunday, and then we read the answers on Saturday. So it's more like a quiz question, but it's a one question. So it's a kind of like first person to answer the question. So we give a prize of 10,000 naira to for each of the winners, 4 of them, sometimes 5, sometimes 6, every weekend. So it's a weekly thing for us. So what we do is that sometimes we also bring up a case like this whereby we up the price. 2 months ago, we did a science competition a science quiz competition where we had students like these. They compete among themselves with chemistry, biology, mathematics, and general knowledge about Nigeria. So we bring it up for them, and they all bash themselves, try to rack their brains. Some of them went home with headache that day.
I did.
So some
I
of them went
did.
home with headache. But the prize was that we had the first winner going home with 100,000 naira. We had the second winner going home with how much, Shekina? Can you remember?
I say 50,
50,000
50. Yeah,
naira, and then the third winner going home with 30,000 naira. And we had a
30.
compensation prize of 50,000 naira for someone also. And this one is we call it a Unique Eagles Political Forum. So it is an avenue where, because we are planning towards October 1st, which is Independence Day of Nigeria.
Okay.
So it's an avenue to bring our young guys together, and they position themselves as the country's president. So they assume themselves as the president of Nigeria, and then they have to present their policy. What policy do they think they would execute to make Nigeria compete with other developed countries? So that is chapter we have today. So that is what you see them debating and going back and forth, asking each other's questions. So these guys you see on the screen, they are all Nigerian presidents. So they are Nigerian president today. As it stands right now, they are president of Nigeria, each of them.
Yes.
So they have to debate among themselves to see which of them gives the best policy. So they did that in front of the panel. The panel, they've gone already, but the panel is going to judge their policies. It's going to see which of the best 3 we can pick from the 6 of them. And the 3 of them will go for the finals, which is going to be in October, on the Nigerian Independence Day. So that's when we're going to pick the grand winner. So the winner is going to go home with 100,000 naira. The second will go home with 75,000 naira. And the third will go home with 50,000 naira. So that is what we are doing today.
Beautiful. Do you have an age limit, or it's free for all?
It's free for anybody. There's no age limit. Just as far as you have the ability, you're camera friendly. If you're not camera friendly, then you can rely on the weekly question we do every week. So if you're not camera friendly, but for those that are bold enough to face camera, those are the ones you're seeing today.
It's all right. Beautiful. I really appreciate your effort. I'm really excited with this. Just count me in whatever you guys are doing. I think I'll find a way to get in touch. I didn't get your name. Sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Oh, my name is Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, my pleasure. Pleasure is all I'm meeting you. So, I think Giovanni will give me the ropes on how to get through to you. I guess we'll talk some more.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Godspeed.
Yes, awesome. Thank you, Giovanni.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Giovanni. And Shekina is almost gone right now. Our next prayer is that these videos should be saved.
I pray so.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Let's move on. And in like 24 minutes, we'll be coming on live again to read the answers or the winners for episode 13. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Shekina, Giovanni, Juliana, everybody. I appreciate you guys' presence and see you guys soon. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.